What's up everybody, welcome in this new video tutorial with the young dev. I'm jordy.bayo and today we are going to talk about QR code. You have probably noticed that I'm speaking in English, so I'm passing from French to English on this channel. I know it's not easy, and I'm going to do mistakes, so it's not a problem, so just be tolerant with me, and I know that with time I'm going to improve my skills. So today we are going to talk about QR code. That is all what we are going to do in this series of video. I'm going to share with you the links of my GitHub of the project that I'm going to do, and first of all we have what is QR code. The second chapter that we are going to see is create a QR code, and the third video we are going to talk about create a branded QR code. The fourth video we are going to read QR code. 5, we are going to create a QR code server generator for something like an application that you can ask for the server to generate a QR code so that you can share with your application. And we will see a real life project of this with a QR that I call a party QR share. So you have a party and you want to invite people, and you want to do this with a QR code. So I had a friend who told me about that she wanted to do this with her company. She has a lot of restaurants, something like that, and sometimes they organize parties and they want people to register differently. They want people to share invitations. So I'm going to in that video I'm going to explain very well what you are going to do, so it's not a problem. So this is literally what we are going to see in this playlist. So keep going, like my video, subscribe, don't forget to subscribe guys, like the video if you love. Hola guys, welcome again in this video. We are going to see a lot of things now, but they are all theoretical concepts, so the video is going to be a bit long, but keep going, watch the video until the end, because it's very important to understand how QR code works before we jump into the code with Python. So it's very important. We are going to look at the anatomy of a QR code. We are going to look at how makers are positioned and how to detect makers. That is very important to understand before jumping into the code with Python. So let's go guys, let's see this. I'll add a link in the description just in case if you prefer to read. What is QR code and how does it work? The quick response, or QR code, is a two-dimensional version of the barcode able to convey a wide variety of information almost instantly with the scan of a mobile device. Able to store up to 7,089 digits or 4,296 characters, including punctuation marks and special characters. The code can equally encode words and phrases such as internet addresses. One thing to always keep in mind, especially when it comes to designing the static QR code aesthetic, is that the more data is added, the more the size increase and its structure become more complex. Even when damaged, the QR code structure data keys include duplications. It is thanks to these redundancies that allow up to 30% of the code structure to take damage without affecting its readability on scanners. The QR code, a brief story. In 1994, Denso Wave, a subsidiary manufacturing company, required a better, faster, stronger technology to the barcode to process higher amounts of characters and to aid them in tracking vehicles and parts. Masahiro Hara, with a team of 2, undertook the task to developing what we know now and recognize as the QR code. Some of the most challenging problems of Hara and his team were figuring out a way to make 2D code read as fast as possible while preventing false recognition once the shape of the position detection pattern was added. It needed to be unique, which means the development team spent the better part of a year doing a survey of the white to black areas ratio after reducing them to pattern on printed material. The results they identifies the ideal ratio as 1:1:3:1:1. By identifying this number, they were able to determine the black and white areas in the position detection pattern, which enabled the code to be detected regardless of the scanning angle. In short, this unique ratio simply means you could scan it from up, down, left, or right. Though the initially targeted field for QR code use was the manufacturing industry, with the rise of smartphone use and the fact that it remained without a patent mean it became an open source technology available to anyone and everyone. You can now find QR codes stylishly delivering great amount of information and redefining the print to digital marketing scene. The anatomy of a QR code. It is the 90s and you have just ejected your video cassette, leaving the square TV screen in a state of static white noise. Visually, that is what comes to mind when some people look at the QR code, a complex matrix of blacks and white squares, but looking like a pixelated image. Each one of those squares is actually a marker serving a greater function in the information sharing capabilities of the code. Position detection markers. Located at 3 corners of each code, it allows a scanner to accurately recognize the code and read it at high speed, while indicating the direction in which the code is printed. They essentially help quickly identify the presence of a QR code in an image and its orientation. Alignment markings. Smaller than the position detection markers, they help straighten out QR code drawn on a curved surface, and the more information a code stores, the larger it is and the more alignment pattern it requires. Timing pattern. Alternating black-white module on the QR code with the idea of accurately helping configure the data grid. Using these lines, the scanner determines how large the data matrix is. Version information. With currently 40 different QR code versions, these markers specify the one that is being used. The most common ones are version 1 to 7. Format information. The format pattern contains the information about the error tolerance and the data mask pattern and make it easier to scan the code. Data and error correction keys. The error correction mechanism inherent in the QR code structure is where all your data is contained, also sharing the space with the error correction block that allow up to 30% of the code to be damaged. Quiet zone. This is similar to the importance of white space in design. That is, it offers structure and improved comprehension for whom or what you may ask. For the scanning program, in order to distinguish the QR code from its surroundings, the quiet zone is vital. What is a static and dynamic QR code? Static QR code. A static QR code contains information that is fixed and uneditable. Once the code has been generated, they are great for personal use and for QR code API. A key to creating large batches of code for employee IDs, event badges, technical product documentation, and much more. On the other hand, and because of their fixed nature, they are not ideal for businesses or marketing campaigns, as static codes do not track metrics or allow for editing post-creation. Dynamic QR code. On the other hand, dynamic QR codes allow you to update, edit and change the type of the QR code however many times you need, which makes them the best fit for businesses and marketing purpose. As we mentioned earlier, when explaining the QR code basics, the more information you input into a static QR code, the bigger and more complex the structure becomes. For a dynamic code, however, the content you present to scanner, it is not directly contained in the code, but instead has a short redirection URL assigned to it. That means the code remains small and is easier to integrate into your print material and packaging design. Capturing and measuring your advertising statistic each time dynamic code is scanned perhaps the best feature for optimizing marketing campaigns. You can have access to when, where, and with what device a scan took place. You can add campaign info like medium, start and end date, print, run, and you can even reset scans and download result as a CSV report.
Hello guys, welcome in this video. In this part 1, we are going to create our first QR code from ourselves. We are going to generate our first QR code using Python, and it is extremely easy using a package named QR code. So the first thing we are going to do is to install this package by doing pip3 install QR code. So let's start by importing QR code. Okay, we import QR code. The first thing we are going to define is an image, because you know a QR code is stored in an image. So you can store it in an image, in a PDF, in an SVG. There are many possibilities, guys. So we will start by calling the method of QR code, that is make, and this method will allow us to create directly a QR code easily with a content inside. So for this, I'm going to specify my YouTube channel. I insert the link of my YouTube channel, youtube.com/youngdev, and I'll just make save. Okay, you call this method to save the image. Okay, I'll call it qr.png. So now I just need to run the file. Okay, just type 5.1.py, and you can see here we have a new image. Okay, let me open it. This is it, guys. We have our QR code here, and it's something very cool, nice. What I can actually do is use my phone to scan it and see what it showed to me. You can experiment by your side. You can do it by your side, and of course it will show exactly the information, so the link that I've insert in the QR code. So let me test this. So now I took my phone to test it. Okay, great, we have the links. So now that you know how to generate a QR code with Python, we can go far with this by doing a QR code that is very personalized to your colors, something like this. And to do this, we are going to comment this that we have done, and now I create a new variable, an object from QR code that will contain almost all configuration of QR code like we want. And something that you need to know is that we have almost 40 types of QR code, and the most popular ones are the first 7 from 1 to 7. So to create, now we are going to choose a version, and that is exactly what I'm saying to you. I'm going to use, you can use the first version of QR code, you can use the second one, you can use the third one. I'll use the third one, which is very pretty. And now we'll indicate error. Okay, we'll indicate error correction, like we have seen on the description of how a QR code works. So if you don't understand, you can go back on I think it's the second video, and see how a QR code works, and what is the error correction, what is the box sizes, what are the borders, those theoretical concepts that we have learned so far. Now let's go, and I will specify the box size, and I can make it 10, I can make it 3. We can do something that is very beautiful. And now I specify the border, I can make it 5. When I've created this object, I go now for my data. I will use a method of QR name add data, and this method will allow me to add a specific data. So I can add my YouTube channel. You know, here the link of my YouTube channel. It can be a text, it can be a hello world, something like that. You can add everything that you want. And now I call a method called make that we've seen later, and I make fit equals true to fit it inside. Now let's create our image by doing image equals to QR make image. Okay, here we have fill color black and black color. That is why I said we can go far with this by specifying colors. Fill color is the color on top, and back color is the color in background. So you can choose black or white, like this one that is the default colors that I use to create QR codes, but we can change them. Make sure that you use colors that are simple and easy to read, because if you use something very dark, it will be difficult for phones and other algorithms to read your QR code. After I make it, I can just save. Okay, I can just save here in the file, in an image that I call QR code.png. Now I'll come back here and just modify the background color. I'll put something in blue. Okay, let me run this and we will see the result. Okay, here you have something like this. Okay, great, awesome. That's awesome. And if I scan it again, it will show me the same result. Okay, it will also work. I just zoom out and let me scan this again. Go back, and now, yeah, that's good. You can see that it works, and this is how simple is the way to create a QR code. It is very simple, guys, and you have seen that it's very simple. You can choose your color, change the color. In the next part, we create a branded QR code. So see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you like what I'm doing here. There are more content that I'm going to upload on this channel. So subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon and like the video, and I'll see you soon.
Hola, what's up everyone, welcome in this new video tutorial with the young Deb. I'm so happy to have you here today. This is what we did last time. We created a QR code and changed the color, background color, filling color, etc. So today we are going to create a branded QR code. What is a branded QR code? I'm going to show you something. You can see this QR code. You have an image in the middle. A branded QR code is a QR code that you can change this type of image. Is good for business, marketing, advertisement. It can be a logo, everything that you want to put there. You can see in my case, I put my head. I'm smiling, of course. I put my head here, and if you scan this QR code, it will actually and normally work, and it will send you to my YouTube channel. So you are going to reproduce this QR code by using Python. So let's go. It will not maybe be the same thing, but we'll try to do something like that. Okay, let's go. The first thing we are going to do is to install, first of all, pip install Pillow, which is a package that handle images, and normally you can have it on your environment. Okay, you see, requirement already satisfied. Now let's import. We import first of all QR code normally, and from pool. Okay, let's go from pool. We'll import image. Okay, now we will create a variable named logo, and let's say that logo can be my pic, like I have here. It can be a Facebook logo, it can be a YouTube logo, it can be your company logo. So really anything that you want to put there. So I'll put pic.png. That is my image, and now we will create a base width, and this base width I can create it like that. Would be how can you say, the base width. You can see here, I'll show you. You have this base here. You can do you can give the dimensions, and this dimension you have the base width, and this base width can be 100, it can be 200. More you increase, more the QR code will be big. I prefer to have 75. That is something quite normal for a QR code, and it works really well. Don't do something that is really tiny, because if it is so tiny, it will be difficult to scan. So I create percent, and these are basically calculus that allow us to do what we are trying to do. Okay, if you want, I can put in the description a link that you can have much more detail about what I'm going to put here. But if you don't want to read those mathematical calculation, don't worry about it. Just copy what I will put here and paste from the side, and it will give you exactly the result that you want. So let's create a hash size. Okay, let's go, and percent, and now I will create logo. I will give to logo resize. We have this, and now we have QR big. Okay, QR big is going to be QR code, and I'll specify the error correction. I can just leave like this, or I can also remove the box size and the border, but we can leave it like that and it will be also good. And now we create a QR big dot add data. Okay, I'll just insert again my YouTube link channel. Okay, let's do this like that. Okay, I insert it here, and now that I've inserted data, I'll use the make function that we already know, and we call it make. Okay, with fill equals true. Now I use image QR big, something that I create now, and it's going to be make image. And now I will, if I want, I can change the color. Okay, I'll use exactly the color that I've used the first time here. I can use I'll now specify color, so I have the fill color. I can leave black and white, no problem, and I'll just convert it to to RGB in English. So here we have QR big, not QR make, QR big. Okay, now just create position now, position, and it's really simple. And here I'll give it by 2, like this one, and also here, and the lock size do it by 2. I think everything is good. I'll just paste the logo and the position, and I'll use also image big.save to save it here. So let's call it branded 1. Okay, I think everything is good now. We'll just execute to see if there is no error, let's go. Okay, it created a branded one, and this is the branded one. You can see the position is not at the best place, so I'll try to take the image and come up with it here in the middle. So let's try it, and yeah, I'll have size 0 minus logo size by 2, then here 1. I'll just come here and do this. Okay, I'll just do like this, and also do like this. So you have the width and the height, you have good measures. Okay, let's go again. Now I think yes, my image is in the middle. Okay, great. Now let me test with my phone and see if everything is good, if we can read, because if you have a big size of your logo, maybe it can damage the QR code, and it will be difficult to read. Everything is good, and my phone can actually read it. So that is how we create a branded QR code with Python, and it is really simple. And if you want, you can use the link in the description to create something that is very fun, like this one. where you have this linear gradient of color blue and black, and you can do it. It is possible. So I'll let you play with this code and try few things by yourself. Okay, thank you for watching this video and listening for my bad English. I'm very sorry. I'll just ask you to subscribe if you like this content. Subscribe, like, and click on the bell notification to be notified when I will post a new video. So see you soon. Thank you. Hola, welcome everybody. I hope you are doing great, and in this new video we are going to see how to read our own QR code, the QR code that we generate. In the last video you have this QR code, we have this one, but we will do it with a Python code because it can be something useful. Let's imagine that you have your server, you have an app, and the app sends you QR code, and you want your server to analyze the content that are in the QR code. I'm just saying things like this, but it can be very useful. So let's see how to do it. I created a Python file, and first of all we are going to use CV2, and CV2 is just a way to call OpenCV library. That is a library for computer vision, and I have a lot of trainings on the CV2 on computer vision. That is my main domain. I really love vision computation, and maybe that is why I'm doing a QR code series on this. If you are interested on OpenCV and on how to learn OpenCV to use it and do different things, you can go in the channel and check for the playlist on OpenCV2. And I also do it with TensorFlow. I also do it with computer vision. I also do it with deep learning. So let's go. We import CV2, and now we are going to call CV2.QR code because CV2 has a method called QR code detector. Now we are going to use a tuple val points, okay, and QR code. Now we are going to call d.detect and decode. Okay, now we pass just our image, and I will read the branded word. Okay, let's do it easy like this. Branded one, I'll just read it. And now what I can do, I can print the value inside this branded one. Oh, oops. Okay, let's go. Can print it here. Val can just print value. Okay, let's execute. Let's run. I normally have a problem with CV2. I install CV2. Pip install CV2. Normally it's not CV2, it's Python. I think Python OpenCV, something like this. I hope it is it. No, I'll just check on Google on how to do it. Okay, let's look for it. Pip install OpenCV. Okay, now we have the PyPy repository, and so we have this link. I'll just copy the link, OpenCV Python. Oh, I just invert it. So let's pip install very easily. I will just let it install OpenCV. I'll come back in a few seconds. So now that everything is good, let's run it again and see what happens. So we have Python part 3, and I run it, and you can see we have the value that is contained in our QR code. It is just easy like this. You can see that there is no mystery behind QR codes. I hope that you like this video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like the video, don't forget to click on the notification bell button because I'm going to upload 2 more videos, again maybe 2 or 3 more videos. The next video is going to be on how to create a QR code server generator. We'll use REST API, maybe Fast API, and set up a server that will send QR code in form of images and FTP protocols. And after this video, we are going to work on a real project because I have already introduced you to the major concepts of QR codes. We are going to work on the real project that I explained in the introduction of this series. So keep watching, guys. Let's see you in the next video. Hola guys, Hotep, welcome in this new video tutorial with the young dev. I'm really excited about this video. We are going to create a QR code server generator. We are going to do this with a simple API using the Python framework Fast API. I hope that you already know this framework, and if you are new with this framework, go in the channel. I did a couple of lessons about Fast API, and maybe it will help you go fastly in learning this framework and start with you rapidly. This is what we are going to do in this video. We will use the API, and the client will send some message. The server will encode the message with the QR code and send it back to the client. That is what we are going to do in this video. So first of all, let's start by creating a file called API. I wanted to create it in a folder, but no way. Let's do it like this, api.py. Then first of all, we have some package to import. We have from Fast API. Okay, I forgot to install. Let's install before. Pip install Fast API. Okay, it will install, and then we'll call Fast API. We'll call Fast API like this. Okay, you can see like this, and we'll call also form. That will be important to use forms. Then we'll import UVCon. Okay, let me install it also. Pip 3 install UVCon. Okay, great. And now we will use from typing import. We import optional. Okay, I got it. Now from Pydantic we import base model. Now we create our Fast API app just like this, really simple. And the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to create a get method. We are going to create a get method. Okay, the get method will be called generate, then QR, generate QR code, maybe something like this, or maybe QR/generate. Things better than this version, right? QR generate. Then after this, what we are going to do is that we create the function. I hope that you really know how Fast API work. It can be an async function, it can be a synchronous function. So let's get here the text that we will use to encode. So the text is of course an XTR. It can be a link, it can be a text, it can be anything that the user want to send to us. Okay, then we will create a function for creating the QR code. It can use this actual code that we did before. Okay, let's copy this one and come here in API. Maybe I can just create a function right here. Can do like this, def create QR. Okay, can do it like this. I'll take the text, of course, an str, and I'll just indent all the codes like this, and I'll just put here text. Okay, if I do it like that, let's say I call it generated one. Okay, let's call it like that, no logic behind. Let's just do something simple. Let's just call it generated1.png, and I think everything is good. I go in the part 3 in the API. Now I'll call this from here it is part 1, created QR. Now we'll use created QR to create here. Let's create created QR. Will send right the text that we got. When you create the QR code, you need now to send back a response to the client, and this response is going to be a file. So we are going to use file protocols to send the files through the networks. So to send files through the networks, we need to import some specific packages, and we import them now. I'll import file from Fast API. That is a that is a package that will help us format files. We will also import from OS
we'll import get CW and remove. Okay, and after this we again import from fast API dot responses. We'll import file response. Okay, and JSON response maybe for the next part that we are going to see. Okay, JSON response. Okay, I think that we are good. We have fast API here, we have fast API here, we have fast API here. Don't worry about this line like errors, because it's just there to show us that the environment there doesn't detect even if you have installed it already. Okay, let me come out of this. Now to send back the QR code, we need to create the file name, because our file has a name, and this name, I think we call it generated, something like this, generated1.png. okay, let's go there and call it like that, exactly like that, generated1.png. and now we will return. Okay, we will return to the client file response and file name, media type, it can be image /png, but knowing that we are sending to the network and we want to send it like a stream, we are going to change this media type and we'll use application /object stream. Okay, now I use file name and call it file name. Okay, I think everything is good here. I'm just thinking if I didn't forget something. Now we need to get it back here. I did an error. I think that everything is good. Now we'll try to execute, but before executing I will just do this. If we execute, so run UVCon, the host should be the default local host, like you can already know. I think now we have our port and I can run it now. Battery.py. okay, we have no, it's not battery, it's API. Sorry guys. Okay, API from fast API import. Okay, this from not import. Okay, wait, we always have errors like this, guys. Okay, from typing import optional, I don't use it now. I can remove, I can even remove the identical one, no problem with that. Let's run again. I think the server is ready, and I think the server is ready, so I'll just open my browser here. I type this one, and I think what I put was QR / generator, something like that. I forgot. What did I call it? Generate. Okay, great. Now I add a question mark to put the text, and this text should be normally data that I want to send. Okay, I can put something like youtube.com. okay, if I type enter, oh, we have an error on the server. What do we have as error? I said IO file. Oh great, I didn't install it. Let me install IO file. Is very important for it to run. Cannot run without it. It cannot run without a IO file. Also, I think we have also Python multipath. I will install it also. Pip to install Python multipath that will be needed to normally send those files across the network. Let's run our server again. Let's go. Now I open this, then I go again. So you can see it's asking me to download something, generated1.png. I suppose that it is the image, and if I open it here, I'll see normally a QR code. This is it. Great, guys. And let me scan it to see if the data in this QR code is actually the data that I sent through the network using the API. So let me test it. Okay, let's go. Great. You have youtube.com. So that is how you can do basic stuff. That is really a simple example of what we can do. Like we can simulate a server generator. It's very simple, guys, and using fast API make it a lot of more simple. We will in the next video work on a real project. Like I told you, here was just a simulation. In the next video we will have a server, we will have a mobile app, a client, and we will try to have this communication between the two devices, and we will also implement something like database to know exactly what are all the QR codes that have been generated before. Guys, thank you for watching the video. I hope that you love the video. I hope that it helps you. Then don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like the video. It's very important for me. Activate the bell notification to be notified the next time I post a new video. See you soon, young dev.
Hola everybody, welcome in this last part of our series on QR code, and in this last part we are going to talk about dynamics QR code. Until now we talk about static QR code, but in this last video we are going to talk about dynamic QR code. I don't know if you remember, but in the starting of this series I told you about a friend who wanted to share invitations using QR code. So what is exactly a dynamic QR code? I will explain again. So a dynamic QR code is a QR code that you can use for dynamic stuff. You know, you can use them for authentication systems, so you can create a complete application using QR code so that you can authenticate users. You can use it for identity management. You can use it for statistics. Let's imagine you want to count the number of people who scan your code. You can create a dynamic code to do that kind of stuff. So there are many stuff like that that you can do with a dynamic QR code. So simply a dynamic QR code is a QR code that you can use for dynamic things, simply like that. So let's see what Google told us about dynamic QR code. Dynamic QR code have a short URL embedded in the QR code, which can redirect the users to the destination website URL. So that's just an example, guys. And to create a dynamic QR code, there are many ways to do this, but I think it's more like a software engineer program than creating a QR code. For now, you know how to create a QR code. So for the rest, to create a dynamic QR code, it depends on your imagination. It depends on your way to solve some specific problem. So now in this video, I'm not going to code, but I'm going to explain how you can create dynamic QR code. So let's take an example. We want to know every time that our QR code is scanned. So we want to count the number of times people scan our QR code. Let's see how to design something like that from an engineering view. So let's imagine this is our QR code, like this. So this is our QR code. So now let's imagine we have a phone here, and the phone will scan the QR code, and the phone will scan the QR code like this. When the phone will scan the QR code will redirect the user to a website. Okay, let's say it is your website. You have something like www, and this is your website. So imagine you have something like https://api.com, and you have this /1, and you have start. Okay, you have a route that is called start, and this is the link that will be on your QR code. And every time that this route have a request, a get request, you will store something in your database like statistics to say that okay, I received something, and you store this in your database. And when you store this in your database, you can naturally now redirect some type of redirection to another link, or you can even store this and show the content to the user. So that's a simple way of doing this. Let's say you can now redirect the user to a web page. So this is a way of creating a QR code where you can scan every time that somebody scans the QR code. It's a simple architecture of how to solve it, and like I said in the beginning, there are many ways to solve this type of problem, you know, and that is why it is more a software engineering problem than a QR code problem, you know. And now I'll just jump into a real case and I'll show you how this type of things can work, and I'll show you in a authentication system. This is a fast API route. Every time that you give parameter to this route, it will create a QR code on server side. You can even get that QR code on client side by downloading. So let me show you a source code. You have this route that is called download QR code. Anytime that you hit a get request on this route, you will get your QR code. You will download the QR code, and when you download the QR code, let's imagine now that somebody scanned that QR code, and if somebody scanned that QR code, it will it will return those type of information. Let me show you a web page where if you construct your routes, you construct your link, and you give like I want user 40, you will get some information about user 40. That's a QR code that you scan. You scan a QR code and it redirects you to a website, and you can see information about a specific user, and that is the photo of the user. You have the name of the user, you have some specific information about the user, and it is simple, guys. You just use an API. You create an API to generate QR code, and you create a specific route to get information about the QR code. You can do same for an authentication system, so that when people scan your QR code, they can automatically connect or get authorization token, so that they can connect later to a website or a mobile application. So those are specific things that you can create with QR code. Now I hope that you have understood how those dynamic QR codes works. It is not difficult, it's more a software engineering problem. If you want to learn how to create an API, just look in the YouTube channel. You will find a specific playlist on that where I'm teaching how to create from scratch an API with Fast API framework. That's the end of this series, guys. Thank you very much for being watching my series. I hope you're subscribed to the channel. If you need any source code, just give attention in the description. You will find a link for my GitHub account, and you will find all the source code. Thank you very much. See you soon. Young Dev.